Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Sharin no Kuni. I've been really excited playing this again. So I came back from work and all I could think about was actually just playing this. As you can see, my motivation when playing this is a lot. I'm not trying to say that the visual novels that I played before this was bad or anything. I think they're good in their own way, right? But I feel like this really does feel special in my heart. I feel really good just going back home and then anticipating playing this game again. Or, reading through it. I don't think there's much for me to say. I don't think there's much for me to criticize yet either, right? For the most part, I feel like the story's alright. The characters are very stereotypical now that I see it, right? If you watch anime, you definitely find stereotypes in these characters. Along with Kenichi too, along with the main character. But he's a bit more bolder than the typical main character. And I like that. So yeah, let's continue on where we left off. Which was, we're still in chapter 1, mind you. Quite a long ways ahead of us. Hopefully, like longer than I thought. Because I don't want this to end that fast. Alright. My proficiency at the act of waking up came into play the next day. I think this is like the second or third day we're here. My mind instantly assumed a state of perfect clarity. There would be none of this half-asleep nonsense for me. Having performed my morning dance and checked here and there for stray hairs, I went to pick up Mana. A pleasant summer wind was blowing in from the mountains.
Oh, Keiji!
Welcome back. Did you get your money?
Mada.
So she was being paid weekly. Make sure you get your money. You're entitled to it after working so hard.
お金くれる約束してるから大丈夫だよ。
I would have felt better if I could have seen this promise in writing. Oh well, going that far probably wasn't necessary. Alright, let's go home.
はーい。Mana, 寝る。
Mana headed straight to the closet as soon as we entered the room. You're going to sleep already? Sound asleep in an instant. Was she really that tired? It was about 7 o'clock. Sachi usually got up around this time. Oh, you're awake. Good morning. Please refrain from howling.
なんか飲み物取って。
I handed over one of my honey drinks.
ありがとう。
She drank it.
甘ったるい。
You gotta get your sugar in the morning after all.
気持ち悪い。
Not me, Kenichi. I don't want to get diabetes, dude. She rushed into the kitchen. Hey, mighty rulers have died longing for but a taste of honey. Sachi ignored my wondrous knowledge in favor of gargling. Hey, do you really feel that bad?
なんていうかね、寝起きがすごく気持ち悪いのよ。薬のせいじゃないかな。死ぬかも。
Sachi's pills don't fall into my areas of expertise, but they seem to be a type of sleep aid. Although normally the Ministry of Health and Welfare would be managing the usage of this medicine, they entrusted its regulation to a private company about 2 years ago. The media has been quick to report on the various issues arising from this, of course. Can I ask you something?
Aye.
You still feel tired after taking your medicine.
は？
She looked a bit miffed.
取れるわけないじゃん。眠いってば。寝ると止まるは違うっての。
Is it? I see. My apologies. I didn't have a full grasp on the situation. In that case, do you dream while stopped?
夢は見る。 でも眠い。
This is like one of those things where I can definitely criticize the game for, right? But then again, while this is grounded in logic, the fact that they're not actually sleeping but stop puts a question mark into you, right? Like, how does this stopping actually work? Then again, it is what it is. They want to make it like severe. Like, the problem that she has is not that she has 12 hours. She has 12 hours to do everything, including sleeping. They want to make it as severe as possible, you know? Oh ho, sounds rather science fiction-y.
あー、うざいうざい。
She scratched her head absent-mindedly.
よーし、今日もビリッと頑張るぞ。
She switched into high gear just like that. I'd like to ask you something first. This has been bugging me for a while now. You wear your uniform 24/7 or something?
はあ？
Once again, miffed.
当たり前じゃん。バッチ組が別の服を着たいときは申請がいるっての。
Oh, I actually didn't remember that. I see. Really?
おお、森健のクールな顔に怒りと疑問が。
I set Sachi's waggish attitude aside and asked her a question. Is that what you were told by your special high-class individual?
そうそうそう。
What the? I unconsciously folded my arms and thought. Well, there's certainly the possibility that one could wear excessively gaudy clothes, making it difficult for others to notice his or her badge. But that rule is outdated as hell now. So what year are these people living in? And to think that there are organizations in the city who would raise hell if a rehabilitee's human rights were violated on any level. It's not like rehabilitees are supposed to be wearing prison clothes straight out of a sci-fi novel or anything.
私はあんまり困ってないけどね。着替えの時間とかもったいないし。
But wouldn't you like to dress up every once in a while?
森健だってずっと同じ服でしょ？
Nah, I'm fine. I just have multiple pairs of the same clothes.
私と同じだね。
Still, I would have pegged you as the type to be into fashion.
ブームには追いついていくよ。どこに儲け話が転がってるかわからないしね。
Making money, huh? She explained herself with a grin.
最近のブームはね、ほら、携帯の電子ゲーム、ペットが育っていくやつ。
Oh my god, this game was ahead of its time. Let me check what year this game came out in. Oh my god. Mobile games? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even remember this shit. This game came out in 2005 in Japan. My fucking god. In English, it came out in 2009. Jesus fucking Christ, this game was ahead of its time. What the fuck? Alright, let's continue on. That's a boom?
あとね、そろそろ純愛ブームだよ。
Really now?
絶対来るって100万人が泣くって。
So, how do you plan to capitalize on this?
国中がキュンキュン言うんだよ。ティッシュとか売れるんじゃないかな。あと避妊具とか。
I thought the idea behind pure love was that it's disconnected from the notion of lust.
んなことないって。やることはやるってば。
Besides, didn't the pure love boom already come and go?
じゃあニートは？今後はニートって言葉が流行ってくるよ。
Yeah, I actually didn't know about NEETs when I was still in, like, middle school, right? Who the fuck knows about NEETs in middle school, dude? I was like, what? 13? 14? Come on. It's already popular. In fact, it's become a social problem. There's been a rapid increase in the number of NEETs. Young men without aspirations abound nowadays. Then again, this has been an issue in Japan for a long time. Hell, they're even talking about the impending collapse of social security and downturns in economic growth resulting from the phenomenon.
最近のニートも働かなくなったもんだよね。
They're called NEETs precisely because they're not working. Don't make light of such a serious issue.
森健と喋るとウケるね。上がるね。
On the rise. I had to question the way she employed that phrase. Of course, I would have expected no less from an energetic type. As you may know, energetic types differ from gals. Gals tend to get drunk at parties and end up passed out, with their mouths half open. Energetic types, however, are prone to pass out with their mouths open the whole way. Furthermore, gals are fully aware of what they are, and are capable of consciously categorizing themselves as such. However, energetic types do not conform to this rule, on account of their inherent ignorance. In short, they're airheads. Okay, Kenichi. Thank you for the explanation, dude.
なんかブツブツ言い出したし。
Sachi headed for the bathroom. Alright, I'll wait for you out in the hallway.
先に学園行ってていいよ。
Got it. I walked toward the door leading into the corridor, dragging my bag. Bag? Come? Okay. I don't know why that said come like that. Drew a lumen case along with me.
あ、ねえねえ。
I shot Sachi a glance over my shoulder.
今後はさ、お笑いブームが来ると思うんだよね。
Whatever, Sachi. Fake Sachi. I stopped in front of the school building and stared up at the sky. A line of clouds darkened the horizon. I spat on my finger to confirm the direction of the wind. Judging by the looks of the sky, there's probably around a 50% chance of rain within the next several days. Nice. I should be grateful to Sachi. I hate the rain.
まったくだ。雨が降ると洗濯物が干せなくなる。
Before I knew it, Soda was at my side, joining me in my sky gazing.
ついでにニョキニョキがちょっと活気づく。
The fuck is a gnocchi gnocchi? Gnocchi gnocchi?
知らんのか？狐の妖精だよ。
Fantasy?
ニョキニョキはな、かわいいぞ。
Really? Cute, eh?
可愛くてキャーキャー泣いてクリクリした瞳でちょっとおっちょこちょいなんだ。
Oh ho, that sounds cute, alright. I kinda wanna see her now.
出しゃばらないし甘えん坊だし酌をしてくれるしタバコに素早く火をつけてくれるし写真のついた名刺もくれるし。
What the fuck? This is starting to get pretty weird.
この前ついに電話番号を聞き出せてね。
I thought we were talking about fairies.
かけたらもろにヤクザが出ちゃってね。兄ちゃんうちの助に手出した度胸じゃけんのってとんだ目ぎつねだったよ。
That's the punchline?
ちょっと、朝からくだらないんだけど。
Class Chairman One stepped boldly before us.
委員長おはよう。そして死ね
I really can't get a handle on your personality at all. Are you just completely random? One spoke up, her lips trembling.
今日は持ち物検査だからね。磯野と森田健一なんて絶対危ないもの持ってるに決まってるんだから、こっぴどく怒られればいいのよ。
Hey, screw you. Don't treat me like some dangerous kid with anger issues.
まずその鉄のカバンがおかしいから。
Its contents are fairly normal. You're not going to find a butterfly knife inside or anything.
あ、カラシニコフ。
Don't open it without permission. Also, I definitely don't have an AK-47 in it. I snatched my Duralumin case away from Isono.
なんか座敷わらしみたいなやつが垣間見えたんだが。
I definitely don't have a Zashiki Warashi in it either. Damn it. It was like I lagged a step behind whenever I was with Isono. Well, what about you?
奥に振るな。
What's with this sudden hostility?
あーマジイラつくわ。家の壁蹴りてえし夜の校舎窓ガラス壊してえしザギンのチャンネルと指名してえし。
What? What's with the rebellious teenager thing all of a sudden?
持ち物検査は嫌な思い出がいっぱいあってね。携帯電話とかフランス人形とかいろいろ没収されたよ。
That'll happen if you take stuff unrelated to school with you to class, yeah.
数学の授業中は使わないからって左脳を没収されるし。
Sounds like something out of a body horror flick.
あとは辛い思い出とか甘い夏のひとときとか全部没収されることになって。
In any case, he had made his distance for the matter clear. Alright, let's both skip school today.
ダメよ。
One raised her voice in protest.
私の目の前で学園をサボろうだなんて。
She was demonstrating her authority as class chairman. Hey, don't be like that. We're friends, right? Right? Look, I just don't want them peeking inside my case. Sono is traumatized by the entire affair, too.
僕は別に構わんが
That's completely at odds with what you just said.
左脳を取られたら死んでしまうだろ
You know, I'm beginning to question your ratio of truthful statements to pure bullshit.
はて
He pissed me off.
くだらない会話は終わった？ホームルーム始まるから早くしてね。
Well, what can you do? I reluctantly headed into the school building. Yoko-san was half-heartedly bestowing wisdom upon the class from the podium at the front of the room.
それじゃあ夏休み前に一度確認しておきましょう。
Several obligation badges adorned the blackboard. They were all of the type requiring others to pay attention to them as well, such as prohibition of love. There are numerous degrees of severity with regards to obligations. The number of badges any given rehabilitee must wear varies with the severity level of his or her obligation. One could consider the system akin to that of the marks getting drivers must apply to their cars. Those who have been saddled with a maximum penalty or the prohibition of love obligation are required to pin 3 badges upon their clothing, 1 on front, 1 on back, and 1 on either side. Whereas obligations such as Sachi's, which do not require the attention of others, merely mandate the affixture of a single badge upon the front of the rehabilitee's clothing. And thus ends the tedious explanation part 2. Oh, tedious explanation part 2.
森田くん、何か言ったかしら？
Nope. It seems that you go over the meaning of each badge once a month, am I right?
忘れたり間違えて覚えていたりしたら大変なことになるでしょ？
Absolutely. Education through repetition, there we go, is important. Yep. My eyes rested on the person sitting in front of me, said person being Natsumi. She was a living example of the material on the blackboard. Every month, I had to wonder what her classmates thought of her during these lessons.
それじゃあ持ち物検査をします。
Dark sentiments shot through the classroom. I decided to try a bit of an escape plan.
みんな静かにして。ほら、さっさと机の上にカバン出すの。
One took control of the class.
磯野くんが堂々とダッチワイフを机の上に。
That's impossible, damn it.
エミ21歳です。
こら！
I took the opportunity to put my daring plan to walk out before Toka noticed me into action.
大根さん、これは何？よもぎまんじゅう？学園にお菓子なんて持ってきていいわけないわよね。
Had she forgotten that today was the day of the personal property inspection?
いつも持ってきてるもんだから。でも食べずに見てるだけだし、300円以内だし、バナナじゃないし、でも遠足じゃないし。
She was panicking.
没収ね。
Sachi, being Sachi, just had a bunch of receipts, checks, certificates, and other various papers scattered across her desk. Ah, crap. Now is not the time to be slacking off on my end. It was best that the world was left unaware of the contents of my case. I crawled to the door on all fours, like a lizard.
先生、森田くんが逃げます。
What an asshole. You bastard, I'll kill you!
あの銀色のカバンはかなり怪しいよ。
Do not fuel to the fire! Kyoko-san pushed her way through the crowd, drawing in on me.
森田くん、そのカバンを見せてもらおうかしら。
Wait just a second, please. You do not have the right to search the property of a high-class individual.
あなたはまだ候補生でしょ？この学園のルールに従ってもらうわ。
Okay, then let's make a deal. If you will agree to overlook me, then I will agree not to search your own personal belongings.
往生際が悪いようね。
Kyoko-san blocked my path to the exit.
森田健一、諦めなさい。何入ってるのかな？やっぱ札束かな？
希望だけが残っているんだよ。
They had me surrounded. I was slowly forced against the window. This is so stupid. I understand. I'll comply. I hung my head and made to open the case. This stupid soundtrack. Just kidding, suckers! I performed a death-defying backflip out of the open window to my rear. As I fell backward, the faces of those confronting me distorted. It was like they were in a photograph that was being steadily blown up. I did not intend to crash into the gravel below. I aimed at a window on the second floor. It was a good thing the school didn't have air conditioning. Since it was summer, all of the windows were open. Ta-da! My left leg slammed onto the windowsill. The forces of gravity and inertia assaulted my right arm, gripping the case. I caught onto the frame with my free left arm. I leaned against the glass. It produced a sound of ill-portent as I did this, but I chose to ignore it. I'd gotten lucky. There wasn't a desk next to this window. The entrance of an intruder sent the class into an uproar. An old man, who I'm guessing was a teacher, pointed at me and screamed. I cleared my throat and said, I'm Morita Kenichi. My life's goal is to be manipulated by people like fools. What's wrong, Kenichi? Oh snap, I messed up! I guess I was high on the action, like in those delinquent manga. Something was being broadcast.
森田健一君、至急特別指導室まで来てください。
That's me. Well, I figured I had better go. Sorry about all that. Here, special guidance room was written on the doorplate. Judging by the room's name, it was where the resident special high-class individual conducted his business. Being summoned, I had a bad feeling about this. I decided I might as well go ahead and knock on the door. Premonition became reality. It was Pops. It should have come as no surprise. He had been appointed as the new special high-class individual for this town after all. Excuse me. I entered after adjusting my color and my attitude. The scent of books washed over me as soon as I came into the room. Ozuki looked at me with his back facing the bookshelf. Report what? He continued leveling an unmoving gaze at me. I racked my brains, trying to figure out if there was anything that I needed to report. School life has been favorable for the most part. I've established contact with the 3 rehabilities in the class. Their names are Hinata Natsumi, Mitsuhiro Sachi, and One Toka. Since I've established friendly relations with the class chairman One Toka, my integration into the class as a whole is only a matter of time. Next? That is all. I didn't recall being ordered to do anything else. His measured tone of voice seemed to draw the entire surroundings into it. I didn't understand what he wanted. He had always been the kind of person to pose cryptic questions abruptly, but I knew from experience that staying silent would only lead to misery. I'm following your instructions. Since coming to this town, my interpersonal relationships have been amicable. Yes. I don't believe I've made any mistakes. Huh? Ozuki focused upon his documents once more. My existence erased from his concern. What the hell was with this bastard? Excuse me. I left the room after a quick bow. I was stopped by Kyoko-sensei as I was on my way back to the classroom.
あなた、とんでもない子ね。
Well, that sort of thing happens all the time in school-based romantic comedies.
いいから、カバンの中を見せなさい。
What case? I held my thoroughly empty hands up. You probably failed to notice this, but I hid it in the bathroom before going to the special guidance room.
聞こえてるわよ。
But seriously, you should give it up. There are things in this world that humans are better off not knowing about. Kyoko-san sighed.
本当に偉そうな子ね。10日と同じくらい手がかかりそうだわ。
Well, I'm not planning on causing another commotion of that level again.
当然よ。
It looked like I had really pissed her off. I'm very sorry about the whole mess. However, I'll have to ask you to please refrain from searching my belongings. The items in my case may not have any relevancy as far as class is concerned, but they are quite important to me. Kyoko-san raised an eyebrow.
わかったわ。私も規則で実施したに過ぎないし。でもいくらあなたが基礎学力課程は修了していても他の子の迷惑になるようなことはしないでね。
I'll apologize to the class on the second floor later. Kyoko-san left with a look of discontent. I headed back to my classroom. It seemed to be around lunchtime. The hallway was a bit crowded. I decided to check on the girl who was absentmindedly staring out of the window. Na-chan, would you like to eat lunch together? Her legs nearly gave out from the shock of a simple question.
ですから私と一緒にいると迷惑かかりますし。
As per usual, she did not even look at me in the eyes. Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about... yeah, that's a typo there. I just caused some trouble in the classroom the floor below us, so it's no big deal.
あれはすごかったですね。
Have you already eaten?
お昼抜いてるんです。
That's not good. You'll die.
お水は飲んでますから。
She clasped her hands together as she said this. Was she trying to tell me that I should screw off with my boring crap?
明日のこと知ってます？
Or maybe it meant that she was interested in what I had to say. Well, I know that it's supposed to rain.
そうなんですか。嫌ですね、雨は。楽しいことが減りますし。
Don't you just hate the guys who say that you can find stuff to do on rainy days too? That sort of optimism kinda irritates me.
いや、そんなこともないと思うんですけど。
Positive attitudes are always artificial and contrived. You should remember that. That's very true, Kenichi.
それは視野の狭い意見かと。
That's also very true, Natsumi. God damn it. What was this now? The fish had finally bitten. Did she prefer more abstract topics like this?
世の中には森田くんの知らないすごいポジティブな人もいるはずです。
Maybe. She went as far as to voice a dissenting opinion. She may have been a timid, but she was also the type to fiercely defend her opinions. So, you don't have as many fun things to do when it rains. I jerked our train back into its original track.
散歩が好きなので。
And she smoothed the transition. And what's this about tomorrow?
恩赦祭です。
Perhaps she actually possessed the mental capacity to keep up with conversations like this. The Amnesty Festival? That ancient custom?
はい。1年に一度だけ義務を負った人が自由になれる日です。
Ah, so this town hasn't abolished that tradition yet.
前の特別高等人の方が結構おおらかな人でして。
And he was probably getting fired right around now. You had been way too negligent. He hadn't realized that One was breaking her obligation and reading sci-fi novels, or that Sachi's medicine was way out of date. I bet Sachi and One are really looking forward to it.
だと思います。
Natsumi didn't seem very excited about it herself. So, what do you want to do tomorrow?
どうしてですか？
Well, you're the one who brought it up.
そうですね。でもなんとなく話題を探して出た言葉ですから、特にどうしたいということは。
Oh, so you just wanted to strike up a conversation with little old me, is that it?
黙ってるのも失礼かなって思って。
Well, finding silence awkward was perfectly natural. Alright, let's do something tomorrow then.
いいですいいです。
What do you usually do, Nachan?
別に何もしてないですよ。
Knitting? Cooking? You seem like the domestic type.
ぼーっとしてるだけです。
I thought you said that you like to take walks. A faint groan escaped Natsumi's pursed lips.
なんだか森田くんは変わってますね。話してるだけで心の内を見透かされていくような気がします。
She was sharp.
でもそういうのって、いえ、私が言うことじゃないんですけど、やめた方がいいと思います。お友達と仲良くなれなくなりますよ。もう自分でも気づいてるでしょうけど。
Thank you. I've been taught various methods of analyzing people through conversations after all. The bell rang. Let's do something together tomorrow, okay? I left Natsumi behind, squirming. I felt like having a smoke before classes began. The afternoon classes ended, and the school day went with them. Oi, Sachi, wake up. I placed my hand on Sachi's shoulder as she snored. She didn't seem to have any problems waking up. I could kind of understand why Sachi slept during class. Why exactly did time pass so slowly during class anyway?
よーし、今日もビリッと頑張るぞ。
You already said that this morning.
何回でも言うよ。時は今だからね。
Now's the time. Was that a quote from Akechi Mitsuhide? You read that series too, huh?
徳川の財宝とかロマンじゃん。
Anyway, did you mean to say time is money?
それそれ。謀反を起こしてどうすんだよって感じだね。
Sachi didn't hesitate to laugh at her own jokes, like a normal person would have.
ねえサチ。はい。明日の予定決まってる？明日は久しぶりに夜が来る日だからね。門限もないし、料理もできるし、漫画も読めるし、おやつも食べられる。上がるね。パーティーしよっか。神戸で？だね。森健もおいでよ。
そうだな。特に用事もないし。
磯野に行ってないんだけど。
He possessed considerable skill at butting into conversations.
僕だって義務というか影を追っている身だからね。参加資格はあると思う。
別にいいけど、ふざけたらぶっ壊すからね。
パーティーというからにはやっぱり中世ヨーロッパ風に衣装を整えてくるべきかな。
What is wrong with you?
いらないって。
そうか。見た目で受けを取ろうなんて安易だったね。ではヒップホップでも歌ってやろう。
似合わないから。
One and Isono actually got along well in a way. Okay, so counting me, we have 5 people.
5人って。
Me, Sachi, One, Isono. I ticked them off on my fingers.
もう一人って？
Why, Natsumi, of course.
そうだよね。日向さんね。
Is there a problem with that?
いいよ。
委員長は委員長なんだからクラスのみんなと仲良くしなきゃダメだぞ。
もちろん。ただちょっと。
One fell silent, adopting the expression of one in deep thought.
明日の放課後が楽しみだね。
Sachi alone was triumphant in her lack of concern. Sachi dropped like a log after checking up on things at her PC.
今日もコンビニ弁当なの？
The gas repairman still hasn't come. I mean, seriously now, we're paying for this. They're just neglecting their job.
それはいけないことだね。お金をもらったらお仕事しなきゃいけないんだよ。
Yeah, exactly. If you don't work, you don't eat.
ケンイチは働いてるの？
Shot through the heart. I'm an unemployed vagrant. I felt my chest with pride.
学園に通ってるでしょ？
Huh?
学園で勉強するのは今働かないけどそのうちお金をたくさんもらうんだよってことでしょ？
That seems to be the scheme of society, yes, Mana. But not necessarily. Oh ho. I found her ideas intriguing and I wish to subscribe to her newsletter.
いいなあ。マナも勉強したい。
Want me to teach you? Hey now, I wasn't feeling sympathy for this girl, was I? What do you want to know? I mean, she was just some girl who I knew nothing about. Some girl who I had just met. This was shaping up to be quite the tale.
計算を教えて。
Arithmetic then.
そしたらレジの仕事ができるよ。
Very well. I'll begin with Fermat's last theorem. I think that's a bit too advanced.
フェルマー、フェルマー。
Well, that's what I had in mind, but I'm thinking that I can wait until after dinner. The fact that I was capable of teaching something to another person was proof of just how far I had come, or something like that. I'm going to go stock up. I stood up and stretched.
お友達にこじきしに行くの？
It's not begging, it's merely aid through the supply of provisions. This is a pretty important concept in an international society.
覚えた。
I left the room. I finally arrived at Natsumi's room. I had forgotten to make an appointment. Are you here? I heard rustling from within the room. Na-chan, it's me, Kenichi. Natsumi cracked the door open and came out into the hallway.
こんばんは。
Sorry for bugging you again.
ご飯ですか？
Ah, you're quick on the uptake. That makes things simple.
ちょっと待っててくださいね。
Can I come in?
ダメです。禁止されてますから。
Natsumi hot-footed it back into her room. She didn't even give me the time to tell her to stop. Wait a sec. My being prohibited from going into your room is a result of a decree handed down from your previous special high-class individual, correct? Old Man Hosuki's taken his place, so that decree should no longer be in effect. Prohibition of love's only concrete restriction is the disallowance of contact with the opposite sex. After that, the rest of the rules just come down to your high-class individual's personal judgment. Stuff like how revealing your clothing can be, or whether or not you can allow men into your room falls into this territory. These secondary restrictions are referred to as simply special guidance, but their violations still carry steep penalties. However, here's the thing. When a high-class individual changes, so do the details of the special guidance you're working with. And thus ends the tedious explanation part. This muttering thing must be getting pretty annoying, huh?
お待たせしました。
Shut up, Kenichi. She arrived with a plate covered in fried rice. I took it quickly to avoid causing her too much distress. Oh yeah, why don't we have a party with everyone tomorrow?
パーティーですか？
Yeah, it'll be fun. I tried smiling at her.
パーティーというとみんなで日向ぼっこでもするんですか？
I don't think it'll be that laid back.
じゃあこたつに入ってみかんでも食べるんですか？
It's a bit more exciting than that.
ごめんなさい。私あんまり横文字に強くなくて。
You liar! The entire world knows what party means. I couldn't say something like that to Na-chan of all people.
ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
Oh shit, I guess I did say it. No, it's a big world out there. I'm sure there are people who don't know what a party is.
いいえ、パーティーはしてるんですけど、何をするのかなって思って。
I've been convinced that she would refuse the invitation, but she seemed to be somewhat interested after all. Then you'll come? My voice was flushed with anticipation. However, Natsumi did not acquiesce. Is that how you say that word? Accept something reluctantly without protest. Acquiesce, there we go. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I hope you don't. Because I actually googled that word.
私はいいです。
The most surprising thing about the whole affair was that she looked into my eyes while she was turning down my offer. But that lasted only a moment. Come on, let's tie our hands together and dance.
いや、
Man, don't say that.
誘ってくれてどうもどうもです。
Why do you always reject things like this? Especially me.
苦手なんです。森田くんみたいな人。
You certainly don't beat around the bush, do you?
ごめんなさい。
Don't worry about it. I'm used to people hating me. I've been entertaining thoughts of maintaining an ambiguous relationship with her, but it looked like she had simply been avoiding me. But I'd like to ask what exactly you dislike about me. Hearing some more details about this particular issue would have been beneficial.
ひょうひょうとしている感じが、嘘ついたり、大げさに喋ったり、無理してるような気がするんです。自信満々なように見えて、どこか焦っているような、自分のこと嫌いみたいな。もっと普通にしていればいいのにって。
Her tone was calm, but her words were unreserved.
あと、かっこいい人は、ちょっと私が緊張してしまうんで。
Thanks for the very out-of-place compliment after you said that to my face, Natsumi. You're quite frank for someone so nervous.
はい。こそこそしたら、失礼に当たりますから。
That's very true, Natsumi. I respect that. Yeah, I know. You're pretty amazing. Natsumi was probably extremely nervous right now. Her heart was pounding heavily, and she was sweating profusely. The fact that she could hide her anxiety in such a state was rather impressive. However, wasn't she forcing it as well? I decided not to raise that issue. Do you like anyone?
いないですよ。
Perhaps you prefer the type who doesn't overthink things.
そうですね。
So, who is it?
ですから、いないって。
This is a pretty old-fashioned method of detecting lies. Your pupils were staring up to the left. Up and to the left as you said that.
そんなの当てにならないです。
That's true. I recalled the time when we had first met. Natsume had been waiting for someone then. And how about playing along with me just for tomorrow? It's not gonna be just me. Sachi and One are gonna be there too. It'll be fun, I guarantee it. I affected indifference. Natsumi maintained her silence. Okay, fine. I just won't go. There won't be a problem then, right?
いや、それはできないです。
Enjoy yourself. You can ask One for the time and place. I turned my back to her.
森田くん、待って。
Mana, one of my roommates is waiting for me. The food's gonna get cold. I left without looking back. Mana had already left for work by the time I returned. I guess I had taken longer than I thought. I had nothing to do after eating my portion of the rice, so I lay down. I couldn't settle down. I sat up and ignited my pipe. My head hurt, just a bit. And I got the feeling that the number of leaves I was using in my pipe was going up. Even so, it never failed to calm me down. I giggled alone within the dark room. I fell into a deep sleep, casting off thoughts of Natsumi and the examination. The morning sunlight caught my eyes. I reached upward and clutched the air around me. Alright, today I'm gonna give it all... I'm gonna give it all at full power. Sure, Kenichi.
あくんないでよ。
What? She was up already. That means it's already past 7? I shivered.
そうだよ、寝ぼすけさん。
I can't believe it. I slept for 8 hours?
昨日なんかあったの？
Natsumi dumped me.
ギャグ？
She fixed me with a wide-eyed gaze. She said that she can't go out with me because she already likes someone else.
あんたタバコ吸うからじゃないの？
I don't smoke tobacco. After all, the ladies would hate me if I did.
人の部屋で堂々とプカプカさせてるこれは何？
She picked up the pipe that I laid on the floor and presented it to me. What about it? I played dumb.
あんま嫌な匂いしないから黙ってたけど、せめて外で吸ってよね。体に悪いんでしょ？
It's not gonna do anything bad to you.
本当に？
It's got a nice fruity scent, yeah? There's even a chemical in it that helps you relax. Hell, if anything, I'd say it's beneficial to the people around you. Sachi looked back up at me after completing her examination of the pipe.
何なの？これ
Tobacco.
タバコなんじゃん。
Yes, a substance belonging to the same species. It is indigenous to Thailand and...
辞書引いたような言い方してごまかしてもダメ。
Alright, fine. It's an extremely dangerous controlled substance.
狂っちゃった。
She returned my pipe, looking quite fed up about the whole thing. However, I would like to apologize. Even if it doesn't possess adverse effects, I should have known better than to just go smoking in your room. Common sense dictates that I should have asked your permission first. I'm truly sorry. I bowed my head in deference.
私と付き合う？
What? Sachi seemed quite serious.
今さ、森健すごい申し訳なさそうな顔してたんだよね。なんていうか本気な表情。ああ、根は真面目で優しいんだなって思ってグッときたのよ。
Wait a moment. Are you making a bit of a rash decision?
本気で付き合ってから付き合うなんて時間の無駄だよ。
Oh, sorry.
本気で付き合ってから付き合うなんて時間の無駄だよ。私はいいなと思った人と早めにたくさん楽しい思い出を作りたいの。
I don't think that's a good idea, Sachi. Fake Sachi, anyway. She brought her face close to mine after saying so.
それに森健とは初めて会った気がしなかったし。
She blinked twice. Man, that's just a pickup line, isn't it?
バレた？
Seriously, it's a total cliche. Though, in point of fact, we had met before.
ごめんね。それくらい欲しかったのよ。
Oh, sorry. God damn it. I'm sorry. I keep...
ごめんね。それくらい欲しかったのよ、森健が。
Her feelings appeared quite genuine. Sachi and I, together? What was Sachi to me? I know I keep saving during these choices even though I already know what I'm gonna choose. Well, in any case, it's not possible for me to go out with you at the time being.
あっちゃー、純情くんだもんね。
I'm in the middle of the high-class individual exam, right?
あ、そう。どんなことやってんの？
Dunno.
適当。
Well, it was certainly an appropriate reaction.
でもやっぱいい感じだよ、森健。いいよ。
The exact reasoning behind her reaction escaped me. The fact remained that she was overjoyed. Calm down a little.
私の中で森健ブームが来たよ。
Please stop referring to everything as a boom.
絶対私のこと好きにさせてあげるからね。
I don't think people say boom anymore, but maybe this was a thing back in 2005 to 2009. It looked like she was going to be rather forward regarding this matter. Anyway, it was about time for me to head to school. Moron! Don't molest me!
いいじゃん、ちょっとくらい。
It's way too hot to be dealing with this. Furthermore, it's somewhat embarrassing.
私は恥ずかしくないし。
It was a fine morning here at school. The birds were singing, the fish were swimming, and Sachi was clinging to my arm.
森健は M だと思うんだよね。だからちょっと強引に迫られた方が楽しいんだよ。
There's rough handling, and then there's whatever you're doing to my poor arm.
おはよ
One looked over at us, her arms folded in disapproval.
う。サチの部屋に泊まってるとは聞いてたけど。
One sighed in exasperation for some reason.
そういう関係なの？まだ違うよ。でもきっとそうなるよ。そういうのってちょっと学園生としてどうかと思う。何が？だって勉強しなきゃいけないんだから。森健はテストとか免除されてるみたいだし、私も成績いいし。確かにサチは数学は得意かもしれないけど、そうだよ、公式とか自分で作っちゃうからね。でも国語はどうなの？文法とか自分で作っちゃうからね。
That doesn't work, but alright. Grammar does not work that way. Words are not your personal property. So that was why Sachi spoke in such an energetic manner. Unique? Okay, unique, yeah, at the top there.
森健も言葉遣いおかしいよね。
Well, I was raised in a city after all.
嘘だ、田舎出身って匂いがするよ。
She did have quite the intuition. Admittedly, language has never been my strong suit. I had a vague urge to blame this shortcoming on Sachi's harassment of me as a child.
なんか本気で仲いいね。
One looked bored. I guess she must have felt left out. I found the way she let her emotions bubble up to the surface of their own accord quite adorable. Sachi conked out as soon as we took our seats. One was called up and sent to the staff room.
やあ、おはよ
Isono's face was flushed with the figure of a man who had just seen his girlfriend for the first time in 10 years.
う。今日は楽しみだね。
The Amnesty Festival? I'm sorry, but I can't come.
何？
He looked pretty pissed. I'm scheduled to take a high-class individual exam. I liked his face. Natsumi will attend in my place.
どうしようもないのかな。
I shook my head.
せっかく夜通しコサックダンスを練習していたのに。
There's something wrong with this guy, dude. Oh, tell me about it. I've been practicing my pre-match kickboxing boogie myself.
あれ？なんていう踊りなんだろうな。
I forgot.
森田くん。
I spun around and cast my eyes upon Natsumi. Her hands clasped in front of her.
私今日は遠慮しますから。
ん？話が違うぞ、森田くん。
I ignored his sono and lowered my gaze to meet Natsumi's. Nachan, do you get along well with One? Sorry.
あんまり話さないですけど。
You don't really hang out with Sono or Sachi, do you?
はい。
She hung her head, wearing a forlorn expression. This will be a good chance for you to become friends with everyone.
でも森田くんは。
Oh, there's a high-class individual exam today. The bell rang, signaling the beginning of class. See you later. I left the classroom. Looked like I was gonna have to find somewhere to kill some time.
森田くん待って。
You're gonna be late for class. I tried to shoo her back into the classroom.
昨日のこと謝ろうと思って。
Ah, because she had been a bit blunt?
やっぱり一緒に遊びましょう。
I laughed. You don't have to force yourself to get along with me. I'm going to vanish from this town forever once my exams are complete. But you'll always have One and the rest to pal around with.
昨日は本当にどうかしてしまったとしか思えないんです。せっかく誘ってもらったのにあんなこと言ってしまって。もっと他の言い方があったのに。
I, for one, appreciate what she said, to be honest. Her shoulders trembled. It was as if her body was crying out of regret. Outward regret. You haven't talked to someone face to face in a very long time, have you? I looked straight at her. You rarely talk to anyone, period, until I came here, yes? So, when you engage in conversation with me, the floodgates opened. Everything that you have been repressing rushed straight to the surface. I know that you didn't mean any harm. Nevertheless, truth dwelled within her words. The truth of her distaste of me.
森田くん、日向さん、教室に入りなさい。
Kyoko-san suddenly appeared from the other end of the hallway, wielding a textbook. At that time, my utmost desire was for school to let out already. Kyoko, I'm gonna be out playing some pachinko. Come on, babe. Don't worry, I'm gonna win big this time. I'll repay all that money you lent me.
あなたは私のダメな恋人か何かですか？
Boyfriend rather than husband. I suppose that she was operating under the delusion that she was still ripe with youth. Well, truth be told, she was pretty young.
早くしなさい。
I had no choice. Natsumi looked like she still had more to say. Lunch break began after the vicious onslaught of tedium. Classes came to an end. Sachi was still asleep as usual.
ねえ、森田健一、
One brazenly placed herself in front of my seat.
今日遊べないって本当？お姉さん、私のせいなんです。どういうこと？
This was starting to get out of hand.
私が森田くんのこと苦手だって言ってしまって、だから森田くんは参加しないって。え？試験があるんじゃないの？
Alright already. I threw out my arms in resignation. I'd drawn up this plan so that Natsumi could have some fun. If she were too worried about offending me to enjoy herself, then it all would be for naught. If things proceeded at this rate, she would most certainly not attend alongside the others. Yeah, the whole exam thing was a lie. I'll come too. I exchanged a glance with Natsumi as I spoke those words.
よかった。人騒がせね。何なのよ、まったく。
On one condition, Natchan has to participate as well. I approached Natsumi.
はい。
Case closed.
でも体に触ったりしないでくださいね。
I would never do that.
昨日は手を取り合って一緒にダンスでもしようって。
I did recall making a joke along those lines.
それがかなり印象に残ってて。
Hey, it's not like I have cooties or anything.
。
She smiled nervously. She appeared to be quite opposed to the idea. Alrighty then. Now that we've gotten that all out of the way, it's gonna be one hell of a party.
そうですね。
She sounded content for once.
なんだか話についていけない。私がみんなに集合かけたのに。
One among us was feeling a little left out.
よし、今日もビリッと頑張るぞ。
Sachi woke up, which could only mean one thing. School had let out for today.
今日はテンション高いよ。なんて言ったって7時より先の世界があるからね。
Sachi was even louder than usual.
じゃあみんな集まって。
Our chairman demonstrated her authority and took charge of the situation.
さて、みんな何かしたいことある？普通に星とか見たいんだけど。
Of course. It would have been impossible to see the stars during summer with that time limit of hers.
ひなたさんは？私はそうですね。みんなと仲良くおしゃべりできればと。
僕も同意だ。何をするかではなく仲間と一緒にいることに意義がある。
I am unfamiliar with the recreational habits of peasants, so I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out what to do. One sighed in exasperation for some reason.
なんかみんな消極的ね。もっと楽しい意見はないの？
Well, don't ask me.
特に磯野なんてこういう時こそくだらないこと言って盛り上げるかと思ったのに。
じゃあ黙祷とかする？
What?
誰に捧げるのよ。
逃げる。しかし回り込まれた。みたいなことを8回繰り返す前に死んでみる？
なんで死ななきゃいけないのよ。
自殺。しかし保険金は下りなかった。みたいなことをしてみる？
それ無駄死に。
妊娠。でもあなたの子じゃないの。 死んで。
There's something wrong with this guy, dude.
さっきから殺しすぎ。
いやー、委員長は楽しいな。
だいたい磯野は発言に統一性がなさすぎるのよ。
She has a point. Even I sometimes wondered what the hell was up with Isono. He was the only one I couldn't get a good feel for. Come on, be honest with us. Exactly who or what are you?
変態でいいじゃん。
失礼な。僕は変態じゃない。ちょっとグロいとこあるけど家事もするよ。
Oh, spare us. And really now, what's up with these unkempt bangs of yours? All of a sudden...
前髪に触るな。前髪に触るな。前髪に触るな。
Sorry. Sorry if I pissed you off that much. Nobody's going to touch your bangs. If that wasn't bloodlust, I don't know what is.
ハゲてない。僕はハゲてない。むしろこれは進化なんだ。
What is going on with this guy, dude? I had broken him.
いい？
Please.
どうしよっか。トウカは何がしたいの？私はそうね。やっぱり料理かな。いや、漫画も読みたいし、漫画は一人で読めるね。
How indecisive could a person be?
お菓子食べたい。すごい甘いチョコ。あれお母さんから禁止されてたんだよね。それも一人で楽しめるか。
Hey, you're the chairman. Please show us some firm decision-making ability.
あれはみんなでヒーローものとかやるの。私悪の女幹部がいい。ってごめん、やだよね。そんな子供っぽいの。私そういうのに憧れてて。
That's fine by me. You can even shout yee yee. What the heck?
やだ。私派手な衣装とか持ってないし。
Seriously, woman. Make up your damn mind.
夏美、何してんの？はい。
It seemed that Natsumi had dozed off for a bit.
どうなりましたか？まだ何にも決まってないよ。何がですか？いや、だから。
You were spacing out again, weren't you?
誰がですか？なんだか楽しいですね。
You think so? Well, as long as she was enjoying herself. However, that didn't change the fact that our conversation had missed its turn about 3 exits ago. I suppose this was just an example of that most glorified after-school harmony. Alright, maggots. Follow me.
何するの？勝手に仕切らないでよ。
She was truly a selfish girl. You want to cook, right? Never fear. You can cook to your heart's content with the utensils contained within this Duralumin case of mine.
森健、私は？
You.
森健とデートしたい。徹夜でネットゲームしたい。そして一緒にレベルアップしていこうって告白されたい。
That's disgusting, Sachi, but okay. Well, you said you wanted to go stargazing, so we'll go somewhere with a nice view.
私はぼーっとできればそれで。
Space out. Is there some place in particular that would assist you in this prodigious endeavor?
渦巻きとか見てるの好きなんです。
I rubbed my forehead and sighed. Anyway, I'll figure something out. Nothing is impossible for me after all. I thought I had some lollipops in my case.
僕は石壁の戦いを再現できればそれでいいよ。
Hell no. Rejected.
不可能はないって言ったのに。
Oh, shove it, you crazy bastard. I'm gonna treat you like shit until you reveal your true form.
親友だと思ってたのに。
A most pitiful expression appeared upon his face. I say that typo. Sorry, I went too far. I'll try my best to summon the southeastern wind.
今回の恩赦祭のテーマは料理、星、渦巻き、東南の風でいい？
The bar had been set pretty high. Alright, let's do this. We filed out of the classroom one after another. They look pretty happy. So, where should we go? I had to choose a location that would satisfy all 4 conditions. The red cliffs, yeah. The game is, for the most part, pretty linear, by the way. So, except for just some, like, for some extra dialogue, you don't really get much of anything. So I'm just gonna go to the riverside because that's the place we need to be. Yeah. The riverside seemed like the best bet. The water nearby would serve to facilitate the creation of both sustenance and swirls, and there was bound to be a fairly clear view of the night sky as well. Alright, maggots. We're heading to the riverside.
本当に風が吹くんだろうね。
Isono's questioning was so intense that I got the impression that I would be stabbed if I delivered an unfavorable response in return. Leave it to me. While taking the current meteorological data of the town and the alignment of the heavens into consideration, I had to say that there was a pretty good chance it would rain by tonight or tomorrow. And when cloud sets in, so does the wind. I couldn't guarantee that it would be a southeastern wind though.
じゃあとっとと行こう。
We marched off in a line.
あ、サチ、ちょっといい？どうしたの？忘れてたんだけど、私たちちょっとお母さんに呼ばれてるのよ。京子先生に？うん。今日は言うこと聞かなくていいから無視しようかと思ってたんだけどね。職員室？何の用か知らないけどね。
Well, alright. We'll go on ahead.
後でね。
The 3 of us set off together. Crimson danced across the surface of the river. Thick clouds were gathering to the west. Nachan.
はい。何をお手伝いしましょう。
I opened my Duralumin case and took out a lollipop.
これは
It's for you.
舐めてればいいんですか？
Nah, you just mentioned that you like swirls, so I decided to.
ともです。
She jerked her hand back as I reached out to hand it to her. I laid it on top of the case instead. Go ahead.
はい、すみません。
Well, come to think of it, you shouldn't have to worry about touching guys today, right?
そうですね。ついつい。
Natsumi took the candy while playing with her bangs.
森田君、早く10万本の矢を集めてくるんだ。
This guy really got into things. Well, at the very least, I was able to understand that he was interested in history and military affairs. I'll go look for stuff that seems flammable.
私も行きます。
いいよ、休んでて。
He flashes a jovial grin.
すみません。いつも。
夏美ちゃんと遊ぶのも久しぶりだね。
ですね。なんだか懐かしいです。
I'm also feeling very nostalgic right now, Natsumi. I was clearly the third wheel here.
じゃあ。
はい。
Natsume met Isono's gaze, if only for an instant. Now that definitely had me curious. So, what's your relationship with Isono? Like I've said, I didn't enjoy prying into people's personal affairs, but...
磯野くんはいい人なんです。
Well, yeah, he's not a bad person at least. I stoked the fire.
昔から親切で、よくご飯作ってくれたり、お部屋の掃除をしてくれてたんです。
I opened the lid of the fuel canister and confirmed that there was enough gasoline remaining. Yeah, the stone should work for enclosing the fire. I busied myself with gathering stones, pretending not to pay attention to our story. Based on what Chad just said, I could conclude that Natsumi had been incapable of caring for herself at some point in the past. I lost my parents too, just like you and Sachi. My mouth slipped.
大変ですね。
That's just the stereotype applied to us by the world at large. Children are perfectly capable of growing up without parental figures. That's true. It's actually quite true. not for everyone, sadly. I assumed an artificially positive attitude.
でも森田くん、私のお父さんとお母さんは都会で働いています。
Her voice was dignified, her figure refined. I'm sorry, I just assumed that they were.
いえいえ、森田くんは頭がいいから先を見しすぎてしまったんですね。
She laughed softly, and a great unease dwelled within that laughter. She cast a bemused stare towards the swirl painted on the candy. Her parents were most likely dead.
落ち着く。
She was a girl who could not accept reality. Was that it? I reenacted the thinker on a nearby stone.
鍋持ってきたぞー。
Sachi and One arrived with a variety of objects in hand.
準備はできた？
One's right hand clutched the bag from the shopping mall. What did Kyoko-san tell you?
森田健一には関係ないよ。
Hmm?
あさってから夏休みだから勉強頑張りなさいってなこと。
Really? My question was directed at One.
マジだって、私も国語の宿題たくさん出されたから。
Sachi butted in. I can see through lies, you know.
本当だって、私のカバン見る？問題集でぎっしりだから。
That's no proof. Perhaps homework was indeed part of the equation. Lies almost always contain a nugget of truth. I stood up and advanced upon Sachi.
サチ、やっぱり。
One's face tightened. However, before I could make my move, Sachi came flying toward me. Hey! She caught me totally off guard. I couldn't tell up from down. I breathed deeply of her scent as she put me in a chokehold.
森健、考えすぎだってば。
You, hey! Let go of me!
赤くなってるよ。
Something soft was brushing against my chest. Idiot! Let go of me! This was a rather embarrassing situation.
森健の胸はごつくて大きいね。
She was rubbing her face back and forth across my torso. Blood started to rise to my head.
ねえ、森健には関係ないことなんだから気にしないでよ。言いたくないこともあるんだってば。
I get it already, so let go of me. Right before she let me go, she planted a kiss squarely on the back of my neck. Ugh. A chill ran down my spine.
純情少年だね。サチ、やりすぎ。
I raised my hands to my temples and shook my head in exasperation. The palpitations of my heart made their presence known in a most annoying fashion. Hey, it's really not anything important. I see. My apologies for being stubborn. The word for my current state would be discombobulated. I have no idea what that is. Confused or disconcerted. Okay. I'll go wash my face. I tottered toward the riverbank.
じゃあ、準備始めてるからね。
My shock was such that I was unable to even offer a reply. I was really no good at these kinds of things. Sachi's body sure was soft, god damn it. Well, duh, she was a girl after all. You probably think I'm a coward now, but... sorry, that's what I think too. I couldn't help it. A weakness was a weakness. Can't say I blame you for that. Our fire was the sole beacon amid the darkness. We sat in a circle around a pot.
みんな、私の作ったご飯美味しいでしょ。
One's battle had been an arduous one. Apparently. Let's see if it had paid off. Hey, this is green!
いいから食べればいいのよ。
What the hell did you put in this?
さ、
You're trying to feed us weeds?
質問いいですか？
Natsumi timidly raised her hand.
このコップに入ってるのは？ それは草。
May I ask why exactly you put so much damn grass into this meal?
私お肉より野菜が好きだから。
What the hell kind of answer was that? I jammed my hand to my forehead and looked over at Isono.
なかなか良質な白米だな。
結構いけるんじゃない？
この草っぽい感触がまたなんとも心地いい歯ごたえじゃないか。
Texture is grass-like because you're eating grass.
森田健一はうるさい。
You guys are insane.
森田くん、少しうるさいぞ。みんな盛り上がっているんだから。な。
He prodded me with a finger.
委員長がせっかく美味しいご飯を炊いてくれたんだから。な。
He cracked his knuckles.
磯野くん、いい人。
Was that all she had to say about him?
よーし、みんなで鍋をつつこうよ。賛成。
There's probably just a bunch of weird crap in there anyway. I fell around inside of the boiling pot with my chopsticks. Vegetables, meat, fish.
森健は疑い深いな。
Sachi sipped from her soup with a porcelain spoon. Porcelain.
美味しいです。大根さんは料理得意なんですね。お母さんから台所近づくのは禁止されてるんだけどね。今日は誘ってくれてどもどもでした。
僕からも礼を言っておくよ。
磯野は勝手に参加しただけでしょ。
もうくだらないことは言わないようにするから。
お願いね。磯野も黙ってればいいやつなんだから。
ごめん。いつも切なくて。
Yeah. Looked like it wasn't poisonous, whatever it was. I also carefully took a sip of my soup.
もっと美味しそうに食べなさいよ。
Sorry, I'm a bit picky when it comes to food. I've been somewhat of a gourmet ever since my stint in the military.
兵役？
I was part of the Foreign Legion. You know that southern kingdom Sachi was doing money deals with? I was actually deployed there for about half a year.
本当に？
Nah, I'm lying, duh.
からかわないで。
Jeez, I don't think it was that infuriating.
今いじったでしょ。私のことをいじったでしょ。私のことバカにしてるんでしょ。そうでしょ。そうに違いない。森田健一なんて死んじゃえ。
One entered a state of frenzy.
まあ落ち着け。おそらく森田くんは本当に傭兵をしていたことがあるはずだ。
No, I was lying.
何を隠そう。僕も少年兵としてかの紛争地に出兵していたんだ。
Oh ho, how'd that work out for you? Sono sighed nostalgically.
あれは。
Damn you, triple dots!
というわけだよ。
Say something! I let him have it.
やれやれ。
He swept his bangs out of his face with a most sorrowful gesture.
そうやってすぐふざけ合う。だいたい森田健一は変なのよ。慣れ慣れしいし、頭いいかと思ってバカなことばっかりするし、顔はまあまあなくせに女の子が苦手だなんて。
Well, to be more exact, I'm not very good at dealing with the kind of stuff you find in those lewd romantic comedies. Natsumi, can you please be quiet?
ひなたさん？
Natsumi was staring into the pot.
ぐるぐるの渦巻きを作ってあげてるんだよ。
Sachi was spinning her chopsticks around in the soup. Nachan, you're drooling.
超ウケるんだけど。もう周りがバカばっかりで困るよ。
One's scream dispersed into the night sky. We had finished dinner and were taking it easy.
風だ。風が吹いてきたぞ。
A few clouds had indeed appeared on the horizon.
森田健一とは人か馬か。ここで殺しておかねば後々の災いとなろう。
Oh, shut up already.
じゃーんじゃーん。
Was he some sort of gong? Well, whatever. I decided to ignore his antics. Hell no, am I doing any of these two? I'm sorry, man. My bias is gonna be apparent here, but I'm super biased. Sorry. I beckoned to Natsumi, who was sitting on top of a rock. Are you having fun?
なんかこういうのいいですね。
An adorable smile spread across her face. Is this the first time you've gotten together with everyone?
そうですね。
Nostalgia swept across her face.
小さい頃は磯野くんともう一人の男の子とよく一緒に遊んでたんですけどね。
I could only remain silent.
私いじめられてるんですよ。
She let out a harsh laugh, a laugh filled with the anguish of self-derision.
こういう義務持ってるから誤解されてしまって。
Do people say cruel things to you? Rehabilitees often had a difficult time blending into their surroundings, much like the criminals in Japan who found reintegration into society to be an onerous endeavor. The barbed wire and chain-link fences of segregation were born into our society not by barbarous prison walls, but by those most innocuous badges.
今日の集まりもクラスの人に嫌なこと言われているみたいですし。
The assemblage of the weak invited unsavory conversation.
私みんなに迷惑かけてしまったんじゃないかって思ってるんですけど。
She threw Sachi and One a nervous glance.
森田くんはなんだかいつも楽しそうでいいですよね。
Oh, really? Natsumi nodded.
現実は辛いことがいっぱいです。ごめんなさい。暗いことばっかり話して。
No, I'm glad that you were able to open up this much. However, her gaze still did not meet my own. At any rate, the Hinata Natsumi standing before me was not the one I once knew. It had gotten pretty late. We were all huddling around a fire. It's going to rain soon. Gusts of wind dance across the surface of the river, playing it like an instrument. The clouds that had come along for the ride with the wind were beginning to thicken. I was gonna say chicken.
解散する？
One's expression laid bare the fact that this was the last thing she wanted to do.
もうちょっといいじゃん。
Sachi continued staring up at the sky. Her devotion knew no bounds.
ですね。
Natsumi nodded over and over. These three girls would once again assume the burdens of their obligations tomorrow. Parental whims would heat One's stress to a slow boil. Divided time would inflict upon Sachi fatigue unbest known to others. Something as simple as reaching out her hand would cause Natsumi to cower. Actually, there's something off about all this. None of them complained. I've met quite a few rehabilitees in my time. People prohibited from driving. People prohibited from talking to children. People prohibited from smoking. Quite minor obligations compared to these three. I won't ask what you guys did to receive these badges. May I ask something else? I was met with weighty expressions all around. Are you guys okay with your obligations? Sachi, One, and Natsumi all stared at each other. Shouldn't at least one of them have expressed dissatisfaction with her plight? Shouldn't at least one of them have felt the slightest twinge of irritation from her burden? I spoke what was on my mind.
ね。
The three of them exchanged glances with each other.
私はまあしょうがないかなって。私もよくわからないけど、それが当然だと思ってるから。私はこれでいいんです。
Really? Then it's fine.
僕は納得してないけどね。
I had been ready to write it off as just another one of his jokes, but Isono's expression was unusually grave. What is it that you're not okay with?
いろいろだよ。例えば
He gave me a thin-lipped smile.
昔この町を中心に暴動があっただろ。
A rebellion.
僕も含め子供たちもみんな参加したんだ。
私もね。
But you were just children. Children lacking cognizance of their own actions. You shouldn't have been prosecuted in regards to this matter.
それはそうなんだけどね。
He cast Sachi a sideways glance.
あのね、一人友達がいたんだよ。樋口ってやつ。
A tinge of anger swam beneath the surface of her words.
彼はね、逃げたんだ。僕らを置いて一人で。
裏切り者。
どうやってこの町から逃げたのかは知らないけど、僕は彼にもう一度会いたいな。
そうだね。会ってぶん殴ってやる。
Do you want to leave town too? It'd be hard pressed to change their residency now that a new high-class individual was in charge. Even so, the girls took an optimistic point of view.
ぶっちゃけこの町じゃ稼ぎが悪いんだよね。私も町を出たい。料理の専門学校に行きたい。
お父さんとお母さんが都会で働いてますから。
僕も作家だからね。田舎じゃ何かと不利なことが多いんだ。
His casual smile was filled with an infectiousness the others just couldn't resist.
じゃあみんなで一緒に住もうよ。私だって一人暮らししたいし。
みんなで住む時点で一人暮らしじゃないし。
トーカがボケた。ボケたんじゃないの。ちょっと間違えただけ。
でもみんなで暮らすのはきっと楽しいですよ。
よーし、そうと決まったら明日から頑張るぞ。
The moment Sachi was anticipating was but a half a day away for us.
私もお母さんがいなくてもやっていけるっていうところ見せてあげるんだ。
One dreamt an innocent dream of independence.
私は
She clasped her hands against her chest in a manner of prayer. Suddenly, the moon peeked out from within the clouds, as if the sky itself were answering their hopes. Bathed in gentle moonlight, this most transient festival drew to a conclusion.
あなたたち何やってるの？
The faint longings these girls had entrusted to the aether.
どうか一体これはどういうことなの？
Were smashed to dust in an instant by the arrival of a rather pale Kyoko-san.
御社祭は今年から禁止だって言ったはずよね。
I'd never thought we'd get rain this heavy. So anime. The power lines connected to the school swayed in the wind. The forest's innumerable trees quaked beneath the onslaught of droplets. We were summoned to school during the night. The Amnesty Festival had been banned. One had disobeyed her mother, and Sachi hadn't taken her pills at 7. Isono had been sent back, but for some reason, Natsumi, who hadn't violated her obligation, was made to stand alongside us. Kyogo-san led us to the special guidance room and left without a word. Death could have awaited us within. I gathered my nerves and entered the room. Hozuki approached us. He did not employ the usage of his cane. He merely dragged his feet across the floor, ever so slowly, forcing us to await his arrival. But the old man did not display even the slightest hint of frailty. Hozuki's body radiated an utmost strength, choking the resolve of those who stood before him.
さて誰が悪い？
I am. I responded immediately.
違う。
よろしい。
He ignored the girls standing along the wall and stared directly at me.
言われたことしかできない人間を三流。言われたことを上手にできる人間でようやく二流。
He raised his cane. The stick became a lightning rod for people's thoughts, attracting the consciousness of all around it.
森田はいつになったら一流になるんだ。
The examination has already begun. Hozuki had said that previously. In retrospect, the meaning behind those words was simple. The responsibility of supervising those girls had been placed upon me from the very beginning. I'm sorry, I didn't realize what was going on. No sooner had I spoken those words, I felt a a most prodigious impact upon my collarbone.
謝るな。
The world around me vanished into a white mist. A tornado forced its way down my ear canal.
指導者は謝るな。誰かに責任を押し付けられない立場の人間の謝罪が許される社会は堕落の一途をたどる。
Another crushing blow rained down upon my head.
ちょっと待ってよ。
Sachi cried out in my defense.
私が黙ってたんだよ。本当は今日の音声祭が中止になったのを知ってて黙ってたんだよ。なんでケンイチが殴られるの？ケンイチは悪くないって。私を殴るなら
Hozuki gazed in her direction. This horribly wordless rebuke cut Sachi's entreaty short in an instant. His stare alone reduced her to a quivering pile of flesh.
子供が
He spoke slowly, as if to chide her.
子供が罪を犯した時、誰が警察に頭を下げる？部下が犯したミスは誰が責任を取る？分かったか？
From somewhere within the room, a vocalization that could be termed nothing more than such arose.
分かったら黙って見ていろ。痛いぞ。自分のせいで誰かが傷つくというのは。
ごめんなさい。
その手をどけろ。顔を覆って目をそらそうとするな。
だって殴るなんてひどいよ。
I think you could actually break a bone like that. Her voice was barely more than a sob.
大根はやけどの跡をなぜ隠している？
She had been wearing a long-sleeve uniform during the summer.
そんなのわかんない。
I had never asked her about it, figuring that she had her reasons. Ugh.
目をそらすなと言っている。
He struck me while grilling One.
考えろ。わからないはずがない。
やけど見られたくないからです。
どうしてやけどを負った？
それは
Don't ask her that.
早く答えろ。
昔小さい頃
She confessed breathlessly.
お母さんの料理を手伝おうとして、それで
逆に邪魔をしてしまい勝手にやけどを負ったと？母親はもともと料理をしなかった。コンプレックスすら感じていた。だが懸命にメニューを考え、慣れない手つきで包丁を握った。なぜならその日は娘の誕生日だったからだ。
So Hozuki had posed the question precisely because he knew the answer to begin with.
それ以来台所に近づくことを禁止され、母親も娘に傷を負わせてしまったことを悔やんだ。悲しいな、家庭から食卓が消えるのは。そう、その気持ちが大事だ。謝罪の誠意を忘れてはならない。人はすぐに忘れる。自分の損得に関係のない話を覚えようとしない。
That's true.
ならば話を忘れると損をするということを教えなければならない。そうして社会に罰則というものができた。
It's a bit too severe, to be honest.
罰則は必ず明文化されている。忘れてましたとは言わせないためにだ。お前が自分の傷跡を見るたびに母親に申し訳ない気持ちになるのは大切なことだ。だから私はこうやって罪を体に刻み込んでやるのだ。
やめて、もうやめて。
I turned my face to the side as soon as the blow fell upon me. Natsumi stood petrified. Her feet were glued to the floor. Not even the barest trace of movement sprung forth from her outline. The pools of her eyes reflected not.
何も難しいことはない。言っても聞かない子供は殴るしかないという乱暴な理屈を実践しているだけだ。お前たちはただ今の気持ちを忘れないようにすればいい。痛み、恐怖、悔恨、顔から血の気がうせ、胃が痛くなるような感覚を決して忘れるな。
As soon as I perceived the cane's ascent once more, ugh, yet another strike met the side of my head. I lost track of my surroundings. I seemed to have fallen to my knees. Shit. My consciousness was... I couldn't see anything. Oh man, I fucked up. The scenery around me began to fade. The last thing I could recall hearing was the increasingly upset shrieking of the girls. An unfamiliar ceiling met my eyes when I regained consciousness. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Oof. If I played a bit more, I probably will, you know, play a lot more, not just a bit more. So I don't want the episode to be that long. It's around an hour and 30 minutes, and I think that's a perfect spot to end. Oof. I still remember the first chapter quite well in this game, surprisingly. I don't know like the minor details about, you know, Isono being dumb and stuff, but I do remember that scene quite vividly. And well, I think the first chapter is about the only one I remember, along with the second to last and also the last chapter. After this, it's kind of like, I remember, but not as much, you know? Not, I wouldn't say exactly blind, but I would say semi-blind, I suppose. I do sort of remember the climax on each scene, though. But yeah, I'm really liking this. I feel like I want to criticize the game, but so far I have no criticism. When I see something and I want to criticize it, I will definitely criticize it. Like what happened with Sachi, right? The medicine that she was using is something worth criticizing for. But as I said, I think they were mostly trying to just make it a lot more apparent that time is important, time is crucial, right? Rather than the logic of the medicine itself, it's that she needs to make use of that time. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying this this game, because I'm super enjoying this. It's so nice to be able to replay this after 10 years. It's so nice. And I feel like it's still up there, you know. Like, I guess it's true what they say. Good stories, doesn't matter what year they're created on, they still make you remember. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.